The truth about anxiety and caffeine. Now, you may have been told that if you have anxiety, or if you're experiencing anxiety, to avoid caffeine at all costs. Caffeine is a stimulant, and what that will do is that will increase anxiety symptoms. And you may have even noticed, if you held back from coffee or caffeine substances in general, you may have noticed that, well, the anxiety actually subsides. But what I'm going to share is actually kind of contentious, okay? But I actually find it to be quite true. So here's the thing, okay? I fell into this anxiety cycle with a panic attack, but before that, I used to love coffee all the time. I used to love caffeine, I love tea, I love all those things. And then when I had anxiety, I was trying to feel better, and a lot of people told me cut out caffeine. And I cut it out, but it didn't really do that much. I was still experiencing intense anxiety. And if you are experiencing physical symptoms that are caused by anxiety, if you're getting repeat panic attacks, if you're getting derealized, depersonalized, you may feel like, okay, that's like awful and that's terrible. I don't think this is a caffeine problem. Well, what happens is a lot of people end up avoiding caffeine altogether. They're like, well, if I have even a little bit of caffeine, I'm going to feel the anxiety. Now, here's the ironic thing, okay? If you're avoiding caffeine in order to not feel anxiety, here's the truth. You're kind of a slave to your anxiety. I know that's a super contentious thing to say, and it's kind of a little bit arrogant to say something like that. But the truth is that what I find is a lot of people that avoid caffeine for anxiety reasons, they're always trying to avoid their anxiety. This doesn't just happen with caffeine, but in any situation. They may avoid going out certain places because of their anxiety. They may start doing certain things or building their life around the anxiety so that they don't feel the anxiety. And what happens is, much like having caffeine, they start developing really intense avoidance behaviors. Now, if you're avoiding something because you don't like the feeling, that's fine, right? But here's the thing. With anxiety, anytime you avoid it, it comes back stronger. It always does. This is how anxiety generalizes, hence the term generalized anxiety disorder. This is where you're experiencing anxiety in every situations you really shouldn't, where it's inappropriate. And one of the things people try to do is they try to avoid anxiety in certain situations. Now look, is caffeine something you should take or shouldn't take? I look at it more of, whatever you decide, it should be for health reasons, not necessarily for anxiety reasons. That being said, if caffeine really does aggravate your anxiety and you want to hold back on it for now, get a little bit better, and then revisit it, that's totally cool. Or if you just don't want to drink caffeine because you don't like it, or coffee or tea, you just don't want to do it, that's totally fine too. But if you really like it and you're avoiding it because you're afraid of how you're going to feel, well, then it just becomes another coping crutch. It becomes another super avoidance behavior, and that's what keeps the anxiety alive, not avoiding the coffee. So if you want to learn more, check out my page and join my